Hello. Welcome. So unfortunately, on the last episode, YouTube ate my video. So what we did is we created a static class to hold all our constants. So instead of writing like a 100, we are referring to the status class for the mothership's starting health. And we put all our constants here, so whenever we do anything for a number that we want to hard code, we only have one place to go and change those things, and eventually we're going to make this like a JSON so that it can read from a file, so that you can mod and change these numbers to but it's just in one place. So whenever we need a number that starting or changing, then we're going to get it from there. So next thing we did is we created the frigate chases. So we've started to move from, instead of hard coding a miner, we're going to create a frigate class, and you can put modules onto the ship so that you can have a mining module, you can have a gun module, a rocket launcher module, whatever we want to put in the game. And we changed the miner class into a mining module. We figured the ship to handle modules instead of the normal thing, and each module that we create and customize into the game will be able to handle all this stuff. So basically the iShip is literally just so ship health has a list of modules. Whenever a module is now created, it lets the UI know. It has a create module of implementation so that the ship knows to put it on there, and then we have update. We also moved the shipbuilding into a factory class. So this is basically a black box that the game sees. It says, hey, I'd like to, when we push a button on the UI, it will send a command to the shipbuilding factory. The factory will let the fleet know that a ship has been built, and then the UI will let it know what it needs to build, if that makes sense. So, and we moved all the pure C# stuff here. What we didn't do was we need to fix the UI. So now that we have the mining, now that we're changing to a module class system, we don't just have a miner, right? We have a frigate that we need to build, and then we build modules. So basically how the flow is going to work is we have I'm going to move the button off the mothership and put it, like, say over here to build the frigate. It will cost resources, and then we click, we'll have three on the frigate specifically. It has three modules it can have, so we'll click on one of them, and then we'll have a drop down modal that will pop up, and then it'll give us a list of modules that we can put on it, and then it'll give like our resources here, and then we click on it, push OK, and then we'll have a notification system if we can't afford it, possibly even read out, or try to make something kind of like half transparent if we can't build it, and so forth. Some kind of like UI user feedback letting you know. And then it'll close the modal when we click it, and then for each module that is running, we're gonna have a progress bar that pops up. And instead of having, and last time I had two progress bars, or two progress timers inside the miner, right? I had calibration timer and I had the mining time. Well, in this one we're just gonna have one progress bar per module, and the status of whatever it's doing will change based on it. So we basically went to the only module we have right now is the miner. So I've changed the I module so that every single module is going to have a current status. This is the name of the status for the progress bar. It's always going to have a current time and max time, and we're going to count it down. And then whenever the time changes, we'll let the UI know, and then when the status changes, we'll know. So inside the miner, we have, for the mining, we have this private enum to let know what the states are. And this is probably not the best way to do any kind of state machines. I can think of a lot better ways, but this is very minimal what we're doing. So instead of having all these timers and stuff, we just have the current status. Whenever we set whenever we change the status, we're going to change the string, so it invokes and sends it off. And then we have a current state, and then we have the name of that, and then we have this. Then we set this to current time, and it just sends off this time whenever it changes. So We start in the state of waiting. We have our current miner strength, and then we have our current status, and then we have our state machine. So on update, we're going to switch to the current state. So if we're waiting and there is no asteroid, we don't do anything. We're done, and nothing else needs to happen. If there is an asteroid and we're waiting, we need a state change. So I created this local function here. This is not a public function or anything. It's just because this is what we're doing for every single time. We're going to be sending it the state, and then we're going to send it the new timer. So the current state is the state. This is the current state that we're at. And this is the name of the state in a string, and this is what sends off to the UI. So when this changes, then whenever this changes and we take that enum to a string, then it will alert the UI that something's changed, and it will update. And then we set the current time with whatever time it is. So on this one, we need the miner calibration time. For waiting, we just set it to 0, and then for this one, we need the mining time. So, oh, and we need to reset, which, thank God I just saw that. We need to say, so whenever we're mining, if current time is greater than 0, we need to calibrate. Okay, so what if we're mining and we're fine? Okay, so here, so if we need to check. We're gonna do mining here. So okay, this is definitely a bug. So we need to deduct the time, because if we're not deducting time, yeah. If the current time is we need to change the time. I totally forgot about this. Oh, I'm glad we're going through this. Okay, so if we well, actually, okay, it's the same for all of them. So yeah, so we don't need to put this in the switch because we're using the current time. So if we make it through this, if there is an asteroid, state change to waiting. Okay, so if there's not an asteroid, we state change. And then we need a break. And then it's not a break, it's going to be a return. This is a return as well. So on the state change, we're not going to deduct any time. So after the switch, we need to deduct the time. So current time minus equals the time cost, which I totally forgot to do. And that's literally it. And then if current time is greater than 0, and only if current time is greater than or equal to 0, then we break. So only when this counts down to 0, then current time has passed. So if we break, then we're going to state change. So if we mine, if we're mining, and this is greater than 0, so var we mine. Okay, so if we mine, if there is a state change, do that here. Okay, and then we need to reset the timer if we've mined here. We need to reset the timer. So we can actually, yeah, let's just do this. We'll put that there, and then we'll reset the time. So current time is equal to max time. So that will reset the timer. So if it's greater than 0, it's going to break out of this and then go to this. And if calibrating time is not done, then it's going to break out of this and go to this. And if there is no asteroid, it's just going to return, and there's going to be no changes. So that will fix that. Okay, glad we caught that. Alright, so this is the mining module. So if we look at the ship, let's say a mother. So this is the frigate class, the Chases, which we haven't used yet. So we have an iShip health, we have a ship name, and then we have a list of modules. And then we have a public event that this will change, and we need to register to this for the UI. So the first thing we do is we fix the check itself. We have a frigate starting health, and then we'll have other things I can modify this later. We have a list of modules that's empty. And then for each of our modules, we're just going to pass time to the module, and then the individual modules will do their thing. And then we have a create module, so that whenever we need to create a module, we can let the UI know that something's created and give it to it. Okay. This is a frigate chassis, so let's go to our ship factory. Because we don't have a miner anymore. So we created the ship factory, and it's basically a switch. And this is the only time I really want to create any. This is the only place that I want dependencies of a ship type here. So back before, we would new this up in fleets. So what it looks like now is that when we tell the UI to create a new ship, it's going to go to new ship. It's going to create a new ship, an iShip. It's going to ask the factory, hey, I want to create, and I'm just going to use an enum type. And the two enums we have right now, and then this we need to be a frigate. So we have a mothership and a frigate right now, and we can add more things as we go. I can probably just put this enum with the ship factory so that it's only here that it knows about stuff. I mean, that makes sense to me. But, so I don't have to go into two files for it. But I like to keep all my enums in one place. So this is a frigate. I'm going to create a new frigate. And then we don't have this anymore. We have a mount to create a frigate. Then we just send the ship. So, and then that will go to the fleet. The fleet will add it to its list of ships here. We're starting with a mothership. So we tell the factory to create a mothership. We also need to check to see if we have enough resources, which we don't do for the mothership because we're going to be building this and it doesn't have a cost. And we can change the cost to create here. So we're not using this anymore. And then we have a maximum modules, and we need this to be accessible to the UI so that it knows how many module slots to build for each frigate type, or if we have cruiser or destroyer or whatnot. So let's go back into the frigate chases. I think we need to have it as part of iShip. So list the modules, and then we'll have a public int maximum modules. It has to be a property. So go to the mothership, let's implement that. And then this one is just going to be 0. We'll just say for now maximum equals 0. And then we'll do the mothership modules because I want it to be kind of like a special modules and not something everyone else does. So we'll deal with that another time. For now, if this is 0, then it's just not going to show anything on the UI. So this here, let's implement that. So whenever we get a frigate chassis, we need to maximum modules is equal to statics dot maximum frigate modules. So we can change that number whenever we want to. Okay. So this is that, and that's basically the way to make this dynamic so that I don't have to keep making ship types. I don't have to keep going into all these different classes to make one. All I need to do is create a new ship type and then add it to the ship factory. So this would be the only place I do anything, and then I just work on the ship, the individual ship's class itself, and then for modules, we're probably just going to make a module factory that will tell it what type of module to go to, and then the UI is only going to be needing to hook up to these two, and this will be dynamic compared to one. So right now, basically, this limits to us to really only having one type of progress bar, maybe we can do like a list of current times and a list of current statuses, or a dictionary or something like that. But for now, we're just going to have one module is doing one thing. And then later on we can have it crew it and stuff and have different percentages based on it. And I'd rather do that. It just makes it much easier and simple. So here in the ship UI, we have this sniffing. This is what we were doing it the bad way before. And we have this dependency on fleet. So the whole point of this factory is to get rid of this dependency. So this ship becomes agnostic. It doesn't know what's going on here. And it has the progress bar. This will probably be a list of progress bars and stuff. And then like we're not having, if it's a miner, we don't do this. I don't have this if-else chain of motherships and miners, and we do different things based on, because I don't want to go back into this class every single time I want to create a new ship. I just want to go into one place to create a new ship in the ship factory, and then actually build the class itself. So this is what we're moving towards. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to work on the UI here. So let's go ahead and get our prefab up. This is a ship. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we need to take this button off. So we're not going to be using the button anymore. I'm probably just going to be creating a button somewhere out on the UI, which is like over here or on the bottom bar or something. Maybe like a second bar for building ships at the bottom. I think I like that actually. So I mean, what we can do is just make a button for now. So the first thing, I'm gonna deleting this this button. Don't want it. Don't think it's a good thing. So let's go ahead and delete. And then we'll rename this calibration timer later. So this is gonna be, we're gonna be moving things around. Actually, let's just do it right now. No, I want to do the button first. I want to create these, this frigate, make sure it's working correctly. What? Alright, so I can't make changes unless I have, I don't have any errors. So let's go ahead and start fixing all the errors. I'm just going to comment out the errors, and then we'll deal with it another time. Okay, that should be good. I don't see any more errors. Still have some errors. What? The ship UI not derived from mono behavior? It's right here. It's derived. Okay. Okay, yeah, oh, we're good. So, errors are gone. Let's go ahead and create a list. See, this is the list view, this is the content. So let's go ahead and create a new button. It's just a basic button. It's like a green. We want it to go. Let's see here. No. Let's just put it right there for now. Just put it on the edge. And button text is going to say build frigates. And why is it green? Where's the text? Transparent? Oh. That's not good. So the text for all of the things are changing. So I was hiding the text for the progress bars. It also hides it for the button too. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, let's do this. What did I just do? This one. Not that one. This one. Okay, so we're gonna hide that. Let's see if we can do this. Nope. Does not care. Okay, so we're going to deal with the percentages for now. I have a build for it. So we want it to take the script that is the list fleet UI and we're going to create a ship. So button, this is empty on click. We want to do this and we want to go to the UI manager. I want this. I want the fleet UI. Oh, it's on. Okay, the fleet UI is in the list. Okay. So go to the button, take the list, drop it over here, and then with the fleet UI, and we want to create a ship. Killing me, Smalls. So where's my fleet UI? I know I had that. I know I had that. Yeah, create new ship. What is this? Oh, it needs an ice ship. No you don't. We are needing enum though. Alright, let's try this. Ship types of ship type. Let's try this. Let's see if this allows me to do it. And then we have an issue here. And then for now, let's comment this out, and then we're just say log build a frigate chases. Or just let's do build a ship type .tstring. See what happens. See if I can do that. Okay, fleet UI. Game objects. There's a way to do this where it'll do like a number. Let's try this. Create new public void. This is a public void. This is a fleet UI. Let's try int. How do we convert an enum? Enum dot get value of ship types. Type of ship types. And then ship types dot tstring. Does that work? It's a list. ship type. Let's see what that does. Alright, this, I think you can do that in Unity. I don't think, maybe not enums, but enable? No. Just create your ship type. Okay, so this is going to send a 1. The 1 is the frigates, so let's go ahead and try this. Let's see what happens. Build the frigate. Alright, perfect. Okay, so we don't need the string, we need the good value. So this is the ship type. Ship types. Ship is equal to that. Is it ship types? No, it's ship types. And ship type. Types. Can I do that? No. Is. Ugh. Debug.log ship toString. Alright, let's see what I'm getting here. Let's see if I actually get a ship type. It's a frigate. Alright, we're cool. Okay, so we have a ship type. Cool. So we need to create the ship, and then we need to get it back. So we need an iShip. So iShip is ship type. Does that work? No. Ship int. Okay. All right, ship type is equal to, and we're going to talk to our ship factory. And we want to create a new ship, and we want to send it the ship type. And then we want to get back an actual iShip. Okay. So let's go into our factory. And if we need frigate change, we're going to create new ship. We don't really need to do that. So it checks to see if there's enough resources, and if it brings back a null, it means there wasn't enough resources to build the ship, and that's what we're doing with this. I don't think we need a static. No, okay, the static is not for the UI, it's for our fleet. Just kind of need to go through the fleet, I think, maybe. Create new ship. So it goes to the factory here, and I'll create new ship here. Yeah, maybe we need to let the fleet know. Because it needs to be added to the fleet to do stuff. And this fires off this event. Create new ship. So what is the, yeah. I'm trying to think of the order of the operations we need to go through. So the UI, the fleet UI creates a new ship. or gets the command to create a new ship. Once it does that, the fleet needs to be alerted here. Or does the factory need to? If the factory needs to, we just, doesn't matter. And then we just add it. But this needs to add it here, because we want to do some other things here. So I think we go through here first. We send it to the fleet. So go to the fleet UI. We don't go to the factory here. We want to go to the fleet. Dot create new ship. And we don't want to here. And I think that's it for this. Well, let's call this the create new ship button clicked. And then we'll move this into a different function that's set up for the fleet. That's fine. The fleet here. The fleet UI needs a reference to the fleet. We can't really get away from that. Or we could. Okay. Okay, so we create this will only go here. And then the fleet needs to do this. So we need to check for null. So if new ship is equal to null, then we're not going to do anything. We're just going to return. Nothing happened. And then eventually we need to send a notification. Oh yeah, we need to, at this point, this is where we would send notification that there was enough resources. Or we could do this in the ship factory. But I mean, we're checking for null anyways, so. Alright, so if we do have enough, then we just add a new fleet, and then we invoke on create new ship, and we need to send the ship. Okay, and then we're registered to this on create new ship. Let's go to the fleet UI. So public void create new ship UI. And we're going to be given an iShip. And we need to register this, which is here, to, okay, so I named it right away. Cool. And then we need to go to here, and we need to redo the button because I changed the name of the method. The reference is wrong. Create new ship. So it's going to send a 1. I probably shouldn't have Discord open while I'm talking. Okay, so we're good here. Build new frig. So we are linked up into this. We need to do this now. So this is going to go here. So now we have the ship. The ship UI has done its thing, or the ship factory. We were doing something with this, but I don't think we really need to. I don't think we need a ship factory. So we have this, and we just have modules. So if we make it, we're not going to make a thing that builds out a UI because they're all just going to be the same, and we just hook into the same things. So let's go ahead and make this. I feel like we can just do this. Oh. No, don't do that. What are you doing? Bad. That was bad. You don't want to, for each ship, make a new list. No. Luckily, we only had one mothership, so that never became a problem, but yeah, don't do that. Okay, so this is the same thing. We can just create a new ship. Yeah, we can just do this. Create new ship. So just get rid of some of this, and then we're sending it the ship. Right, and for this initialization, it'll only be the mothership. Okay, we don't want to send fleet, so we need to break this. I think we're done here. This is all we need, pretty sure. We got the ship prefab. The only thing we need to do is create progress bars. Okay, so when we create a new ship, though, we are going to need to create the modules and stuff like that, and how many each one goes. Let's do that later. For now, let's just make sure this works. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is we need to break all this. None of this is good anymore. Let's get rid of this. We don't need a fleet anymore. Let's go ahead and get rid of that, because we're not looking at the fleet. So change, and we're just gonna let's just delete this. I'm not using a ship factor UI. We'll just keep it in the fleet UI where it creates the generics. We don't need this anymore. Done with that. But we are gonna have the ship factory. So we'll send the command to the fleet. The fleet adds the ship to the fleet after the ship factory gives it a fleet, and then we send it up with an event. It will raise this. The fleet will raise. Oops. Okay, don't do that. This uncreated ship will be raised when we create a new ship. We'll send a notification if we need to. And yeah, send the new ship up. Fleet UI will catch that here. It will create a new prefab. And eventually we'll do some pooling if we need to. If it's a big deal. If we start running into frame issues, we'll start going through and adding pooling. Okay. Use var. See, I never liked var because this makes it, you're hiding the type to me. They said only use it if it's obvious, but it's like always using it. Okay, so we need a ship type, ship UI. Okay, so what do we need to hook up to? First off, we're gonna get rid of this. We don't use this anymore. We are gonna need a public text mesh probe GUI for the status name. Alright, so we're initializing, okay? We take the ship, we got that. Okay, cool. Text. We need this is for each of the modules, basically. So we have a list of modules, and we're going to change the name for it. So basically, the ship.modules here, we're going to iterate through this. So for each I module, and modules, and s.modules, we're going to iterate through this, and then we're going to register to the different modules and hook them up to the status name and progress bar events. And then we're going to register to that during all this stuff. And we're going to have a register to module. So for each of these modules, we need to register to the module as well. And then we also need to unregister, because we're going to be like deleting stuff and destroying ships and stuff. So we need to go through and unregister as well. So right now we're hooked up to the ship health, which is fine. We don't need this anymore, and we're not creating a ship from here. So delete that. And now you see we've cleaned up a lot of this. So basically, we're just going to go through, initialize a ship name, we hook up to the ship health, and then we're going to go through each of the modules and hook up to their I module, which is these two, the on time change and on status change. And then as we iterate through it with the update, as the status changes, it will update the UI, and as the time changes, the progress bar will go up and down and fill. And that's all like generic. We don't need to really do much about that, so we're just going to have a private void register to module, and we have an I module. And then we're going to have an unregister, because we're eventually going to need to go through and unregister to these stuff when we delete modules or change it. For now, we are fine. Okay, so we are going to hook up, we need a one of these. And actually I think we can just do this to make it happier. And we just need something like this. So private void, do that. So on ship progress bar change. And then we're going to do, this is going to be the progress bar. So right now what we need to do is create the progress bars. And we're just going to say this is the time bar. So time bar dots current percent. Or the text percent. Current percent is equal to current over max. And this will make the progress bar go down. I think we need to update it. So, and then we need another one of these. And this is for the on ship or on progress bar status change. We are going to need to know which one we're doing, but for now, let's go ahead and just do status name dot text, and this is going to be we are sending a string, so the string of status. Or just we just need status. It's not there. So we got that. Now we need to register to the module, which is going to be dots on module, and we have module creations too. We need to know. We actually need to know that. We need to do the modules, and we need to do for each one. We have a module, so this is an I module. So it's module dots status change plus equals to on progress bar status change. Okay, and then we need to do module dot on time change plus equals to on ship progress bar change. Okay, and then we're going to unregister from these eventually, so we don't have any memory leaks. Okay, so for each one of these events, we need to register to the module. And that's it. And then usually we're going to update here. Okay, so what we need is we need to update our we need to go through our prefab. So basically we need a list of modules that are going to be here. So we're going to have a pair of this and then this, but we're going to create into a class of its own, likely. And then we just have a list of them. So we need to find the module. So whenever we fire it off here, we need to know which time bar we're updating. So we're going to have to find in the list and update the progress bar and stuff like this. So it's not going to be this easy. But like for a frigate, we can have 3 modules. So basically we need to create the prefab for all this stuff. So we're going to be doing that in the next one. So I will see y'all in the next video.